is honestly, truly, you were close. It is a huge body of air, so we're writing this down. Huge body of air that has similar, what does similar mean?
Like the same.
The same. Same or alike works for me. Similar / same. Temp. I can put temp for temperature. Okay. Temp, they have similar temp and moisture. Now, if I'm talking about the moisture, I'm talking about the what in the air? The water vapor, exactly. And if I'm talking about the water vapor, you might have heard them on the news say it's very this today. It starts with an H. Humid, right? So the word moisture also means humidity. It is exactly what Victoria said. We're seeing how much water vapor is in the air. And that's similar to our lab. Remember we did our lab investigation where we pulled the water vapor into the bag?
Yes.
Yep. Okay, air masses all have a name. They all have a first name and they have a last name. So, air masses are named by air masses are named by their temperature and humidity. So literally, in the name of an air mass, it tells you two things. It will tell you how much moisture is in that air mass, and it will also tell you where that air mass was formed. Where that air mass is formed is going to tell you whether it's hot or it's cold. So for example, if I say an air mass was formed over Canada, what should the temperature of that air mass over Canada be? If an air mass is formed over Canada, what should the temperature of that air mass be over Canada? Kaden? Cold, because Canada is going to be what? Cold. If I have an air mass that's formed over, Miami. We all know what Miami is? Where it is? It's going to be what? Hot. So where the air mass is formed will tell us the temperature, and sometimes it will tell us the humidity content as well. All right, we're going to go ahead and get started with our first vocab word that tells us where it's formed. If I give you two words, I give you the word maritime and I give you the word continental. Which word do you think means land? If I'm giving you the word maritime and continental, which word do you think means land? Carter? Continental. Absolutely. So I'm going to use my green because it makes sense. If I'm thinking about land, I'm usually thinking about what color? Green, right? So our first vocab word in this corner, in this top right-hand corner is continental. And then it's going to be continental and it's going to talk about its temperature next. So the first one we're going to start with is continental polar. This is abbreviated as C, comma, P. So not C, comma, P, I'm sorry, parentheses, C, P. And we're just writing exactly what Carter said, that continental forms over lands. Now, if it's forming over land, is it going to be wet or do you think it's going to be dry if it's forming over lands? If I'm forming something over a land mass, Layla? Dry is absolutely. Dry. So let's go ahead and summarize this of what are the characteristics of it. So if I ask what the temp is, and we're not looking for a number, we just need descriptive words. The temp of this continental polar air mass is going to be what? What is the temperature of this continental polar air mass going to be? It's continental polar. I don't need an exact number. Is it going to be hot or is it going to be cold? Victoria. Yes, ma'am. It's going to be cold. It's humidity. We're looking for words wet or dry. If it's forming over land and it's cold, what do you got, Kason? It's going to be dry. Now, if we're thinking ahead, if I can have a continental polar one that's cold, am I going to have the opposite? Because if I have a cold air mass, can I possibly still have a what air mass opposite of it? A hot air mass, right? So our next words in this one is we're repeating in our one below it. The word is still continental because it's formed over what? I can't hear you. It's formed over what? Lands. But instead of using polar, I gotta use a different word that means hot. Now, I don't know, close. Think of places that people like to vacation, like Jamaica's this. What are you gonna say? The beach. These are places that are very, starts with a T. Terry? Yes? When I tell you the word, you're gonna get mad. Sometimes it's in front of the word fruit punch. Yes, Victoria, tropical. If you drink Hawaiian punch, it says tropical usually. So, continental tropical. This is abbreviated process of elimination. C what, guys? CT. Was that you, Jesse? Thank you. CT. We're gonna write again that continental forms over what? I can't hear you. Land. Forms over lands. But we gotta ask ourselves yet again, is this air mass gonna be wet? Or is this air mass going to be dry? What are we thinking? Is this air mass going to be wet or is this air mass going to be dry? What do we think? Layla? No, baby. It's going to be dry because it's still over land. And we're learning, don't feel bad. It's going to be dry. So in my corner, I'm going to write characteristics again. And some of this might seem repetitive or we keep doing it, but it's so that way it gets in your brain, baby. All right, so my first characteristic of this, we're gonna put its temp first. I just want to follow the method we have. And then its humidity. Sophie. If I have a continental tropical air mass. What do you think the temperature of that's going to be? Is it going to be hot or is it going to be cold? It is continental tropical. You want Kaya to help you out, baby? Kaya, help her out, love. It's gonna be hot. Because if I tell you we're going someplace tropical for vacation, what kind of clothes are you packing? Bathing suit, shorts, flip-flops. Are you bringing a snowsuit to someplace tropical? No. So that tells me if I don't need a snowsuit, that tells me that place is what? Hot. Right? So the temperature here is hot. Oh, what's the humidity? Is the humidity here changing? Tyrese? Is it gonna be wet or is it gonna be dry? It's continental. Because it's gonna be dry because it's still formed over the land. Layla? Hot and yeah. So we're thinking cold and dry. Think of places like, think of places like the tundra. Think about places like northern Russia, right? It is very cold and it's dry. They have snow, but it's not wet snow, right? If I'm thinking about places that are hot and dry, I'm thinking about places like Mexico because it's a what? It's a desert, right? It's hot and the air is very dry. But if you're close to the beach, would the air be dry next to a beach?
No,
it's going to have a lot of water vapor. Which brings us to our next point. Layla, that was a perfect segue. Let's turn on to this other side of the paper. So Layla said it's dry, it's dry, it's dry, and she's correct. Now we need to switch to our words that are not over land, it's over water. The word here is maritime, right? So you might have heard it if you are someone who's into watching like history. They talk about maritime time, right? Where time on sea is different. So we're going to go ahead and write maritime, M-A-R-I-T-I-M-E. Now, can anybody guess what kind of maritime air mass this is going to be? Looking at the other side of your paper, it's really confusing here. It's maritime, probably going to be what? Maritime cold, which is maritime polar. So right here, we're writing maritime polar. That's going to be abbreviated as well. That's going to be abbreviated as well as MP. Now, maritime forms over what, guys? Yes, ma'am. Forms over, I'm still putting H2O, you know it's a science class. It forms over water. Now, if it forms over water, these are typically going to be what? They're going to be what, Layla? Wet. Tyrese? Yes, sir.
Yeah, because the seventh grader, he was talking about that, and I said that H2O is a liquid, is water.
It is. For the sake that it might be my former student, I don't want to hear anymore. LOL. I don't want to hear anymore, especially if they're my old student. Cover your ears, Miss Beth. All right, so once again, we're copying our format. Temp, humidity. It's maritime and it's polar. If it's maritime polar, what is the temperature going to be if it's maritime polar? Jesse? Cold is absolutely correct. Its humidity is going to be what? Terry? Correct. Now this is going to be places like off the coast of New York. Right? Remember we were just looking at the map of the hurricane? And we looked up close by New York? That's going to be maritime polar. Is it cold in New York? Was the hurricane over the water up there?
Yeah.
Yes. This brings us to our last and final one, which is maritime, what guys? Tropical, process of elimination. Right, so our last one, I'm gonna scroll up for the camera. And of course, this will be on Schoology and this video will be on YouTube. So we're gonna go ahead and put maritime,
So we're gonna say
tropical. That's abbreviated as MT. Once again, following the format, we're gonna write one more time where maritime forms. Forms over H2O. You know, if you don't know what H2O is, baby, it's your notes. No one's looking. Write the word water right next to it. We were told last one that if it's maritime, it's going to be what, dry or wet?
wet.
Wet, thank you. Following our last characteristic that we have to write. Characteristics here. Temp, humidity, Joanna, if I have a maritime tropical air mass, what is the temperature of that air mass going to be if it's maritime and tropical? Yes, ma'am. It's going to be hot. Gabrielle, if I have a maritime tropical air mass, what is the humidity going to be? If I have a maritime tropical air mass, what is the humidity going to be? No. Layla? Swiger, gotta be clear. Wet, yes. And wet.
Is this the one for weather unit?
Yes, baby. We started this standard today. I'm gonna be honest with you, we probably won't finish it until next week. It's a big one. Right? So we have to look at the complex interactions of air masses. So we're gonna do air masses today. We're gonna look at air pressure, because we talk about the pressure in the air. Then we're gonna talk about fronts. What happens when two air masses meet each other? And we're gonna look at weather maps. You know, I've been looking at the lines on a map and they've been different colors. We're gonna look at that and that's where it comes up. And then after we do that, we gotta talk about how a tornado forms, how a hurricane forms. But we kinda know about hurricanes already, because have we been talking about it? Yeah, you guys can already tell me hurricanes have to form over what temperature of water? Hot or warm, same thing. Hurricanes only form by what giant imaginary line? Equator, absolutely. Okay? So please make sure you have this in your notes, and we're gonna practice a little, and then I'm gonna get a worksheet to practice on.